All right, folks, welcome back to the interactive community analysis we're doing of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. We're up here at the top of the mountain. I went ahead and just climbed the mountain, so here we are. We're going to go in the cave and see if we can get some more bits of lore. I'm sure the owl, like Sheik, he's sometimes got something poetic to say, or sometimes it's just a... Oh, I shouldn't have talked to him first. He would have taken me back to town. Oh, maybe I can... Now, climbing up here, maybe I can get him again on the way out. Climbing up here proves just how smart you are. Now I want to see you make another smart move. The Great Fairy lives at this mountaintop, and she will give you a new skill. She is the leader of the fairies, you know. The leader of the fairies? Well, I didn't know that. Huh. Well, let's write that down. Fairy at D Mountain. D Mount is the leader. Okay. Oh, cool. That's some new lore right there. I don't know if it's going to be significant, but we'll find out. I cannot... Exactly what you need to do to find her, I cannot tell you. She insists all visitors find their own way. Let's fly... I gotta write that down too, actually. Insists all visitors must find their own way. Find their own way. Okay. Don't go in the volcano. Words of advice. Words of advice. Words to live by. Don't go in the hot volcano as a child. Yeah, I'm excited to be back doing this. This has been a good schedule for us. I think it's going to be good to do this in the mornings for me especially. So, and this is our first Great Fairy. First real skill, and let's just take a look at the fairy cavern here. Nothing super new with this version, but you do have the, ethereal effects all in here, and it seems to be sort of a holy place, maybe tied to the sacred realm in one way or another. I don't know if there's really any lore or anything tied to that, but, it's worth noting everything. We're going to be looking at everything. So let's see if I can remember how to play this song. Nope. Let's try that again. I should just look. It's always going to go faster if I just look at the song. Okay. But yeah, it looks like there's a little cherub above the back door there too, but I think that might just be a fairy, I sometimes wonder if they're using just random assets for certain things. Lots of games do it. I don't know if Nintendo's exempt from that. Welcome, Stink. I am the Great Fairy of Power. So, she's also the Fairy of Power, and Power is the leader. Also the Triforce, which sits on top. There's quite a few fairies, though. There might be more fairies than there are pieces of the Triforce. I don't know. We'll see. And she gives us the sword technique, which is very powerful. It literally just increases our power and is associated with the color red. You have it charge up to the color blue and then to the color red. So blue tends to represent, like things that are more on the logic side of the brain, and red the more primal, things like power. And her being the leader could be just that. She may have wanted us to just go see all the others, so it makes sense that we would find her first. Oh. Yeah, I've been studying up on a little bit more Shinto, and things like that, and just trying to find connections, doing a lot of Japanese history study, which I think is going to help tremendously with this, since it's so influenced by Japanese myth. So giving the power made me grow up a little bit, but you still don't really look like the hero who will save Hyrule, at least not yet. If you're going back down the mountain, I can lend you a hand. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Take me down that mountain. They're using this bit from the beginning of the game again. You know, this little flying bit. And I finally have enough gold Skulltulas to get to the house and get my giant wallet. You know, get the big boy's wallet. You can have an adult's wallet when you're a kid. You know, there's ways to go about that. Oh, hey, Ketzer. Welcome back to the stream. Yeah, I wanted to do one yesterday, but I became so tired, you know, since quitting cannabis. Some nights I sleep like 3 hours a night. Some nights I sleep 12. Last night was like 2 spurts of 4 hours. So that wasn't great, but you know, I'm trying. I'm getting through it. I'm getting rest when I can. All right, so this guy, I think I have 10 of these things now. Yeah, look, we cured one of these dudes. The curse has been broken. Thank you. Here's a reward for you. That's what I wanted. Thank you. Now we're going to be going to Zora's Domain, you know, and water always has a really big symbolism. You guys have probably heard me say it a million times, but water tends to represent the subconscious. And the reason for that is, you know, I think the best way to look at it, because it happens a lot of times in myth, that there's a bunch of things in the water, you know, things we don't know what they are, creatures. It's kind of where we project our subconscious demons. You can put them down under the water. You know, nowadays we have water exploration vehicles and sonar, and we know a lot of the creatures in the ocean, though a lot of it is still unknown, actually. But we know a lot of creatures in the ocean. But back in the day, it was a field for projection, especially for myth, so you could project anything into the water. Now, I don't know if that's the case with the Zoras, because the Zoras seem to have sort of a tie to the royal family. But I do think there's something interesting maybe to the flow of the river. You know, I did watch a video one time on the water flow of the Zelda universe. I think it became a very popular video, and you can really see it flowing here. You know, part of it, let's see, goes right up to Hyrule Castle. You know, I think that's where the moat from Hyrule Castle comes from. And Kakariko Village has to use a well, so that they're probably getting it from an underground source. And then over here, I think this is likely where it flows into the Kokiri Forest. So you have the Kokiri Forest and Hyrule City basically being fed from this water source. So there has to be a real sharp tie to the royal family here. Oh yeah, let's check out our new skill. Sweet. I thought that was so cool when I first got it. Looks like you've gotten bigger and stronger already, Stink. Just ahead lies Zora's Domain. The Zoras serve Hyrule's royal family by protecting the water. Oh, he literally says it. I was overthinking it. This guy literally says it. Their door will not open for anyone except those who have some connection with the royal family. Well, we know that. So Zelda's lullaby is, you know, the key to everything, you know. I wonder if that's universal with the royal family or just with Zelda. I don't know. You know, it's not Zelda's lullaby. It's really the song of the royal family. I think Sheik just said that she used it as Zelda's lullaby. And you know, about, not Sheik, Impa. Impa, not Sheik. Zelda Sheik. Something I read, though, out of the Hyrule Historia that was interesting was that originally, you know, the different parts of the... Oh, I think, yeah. The different parts of the Triforce were supposed to be associated with Impa, Link, and Zelda. Not Ganon, Link, and Zelda, but Impa ended up becoming more of a side character later on. Oh, yeah, here's this guy with his beans, driving up the bean stock prices. I think we talked about that last time we played this. This guy and his beans. We're just going to buy as many as we can. Make sure we plant these all over Hyrule. And it's a magic bean. I wonder if that has any relation to some myth or something, you know, like Jack and the Giant Beanstalk. I mean, it seems to be, since these beans sprout and magically take you to higher places. So there's something there, I'm sure. I don't think I have enough rubies for any more, though. Oh, and then we got the frog choir over here. I don't have very many songs, though. I don't know if we're going to do that just yet. Though they do fill up your wallet pretty fast, so maybe we should. Maybe we should do the frogs, just the few songs that we have. And then we can go back and buy more beans. Because that's what I'm going to be spending a lot of my rubies on in this first part. All right, let's send this guy back. Go swimming, dude. Oh, look at him. He's getting away. All right, here we go. Yeah, I've got like 4 songs. We can fill up our whole wallet. And then I'll just need the Song of Time and I can finish it up. So yeah, we'll get the heart piece too. I'm not really trying to get all the heart pieces. I mean, unless there's some sort of lore-based thing, I might do it, you know, but I don't want to spend too many days on this. This is sort of just like a refresher. No, wait, I already played that song. Nope. Let's see. Let's try. There we go. And I'll be damned if I can remember Saria's song. I think it had an R button in there somewhere. Ugh. I've got a tonsil stone, guys. It is the nastiest tasting thing I think I've ever had in my mouth. And it gave me this dream last night where I was like being forced to eat a dead body. It was very disturbing. And I was like, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, I gotta like rinse my mouth. I did a saltwater gargle at like 4 a.m. It was just, Jesus, God, it was the most horrible dream. And yeah, and the taste, it's just still there. I don't know what to do about it. It's like, it's making me depressed. Oh, it's absolutely the worst tonsil stone I've ever had. I think I have one more song. It's the Sun Song. Yeah, here we go. And let's just not jack that up again. What is it? It's, wait. I'm sorry. Yeah, I should be taking vitamin D pills. It would probably do a lot for me. I'm so afraid of any kind of pill, though. Any kind of substance that I don't know, like, I'm very sensitive to things, you know? So if I take anything, it might be too much. Like, I had some B12 the other night, and I turned red, and I was just hot. Like, I was, like, having some sort of body heat all night long, you know? And I'm sure I shouldn't be taking B12 at night. That was probably the problem, not the B12 itself, but yeah, I don't like it. I'd rather just go all natural, you know, which I know isn't feasible, and I'm getting up in the years, so. Oh yeah, the Song of Storms, but I don't think I can get the Song of Storms, right? I can't get that till I'm an adult. Let's see, and then there's this thing over here, but I probably need the boomerang for that guy. And you know what we need to do? We really need to get the Mask of Truth. I wonder if we can do all the masks. We might just run back to Hyrule Town and go ahead and do that. You know, and something interesting too is all these places, and I'm going to write this down too because I just remembered it. Zora's Dome, Kakiri Forest is connected to almost every area, I think. I think you can get to Lake Hyla. I might be wrong on that. No, you can. You can get to Lake No, can you? Well, you can get to Zora's Domain. You can get to the Goron's home. It's connected to everything. Oh, wait, do I need to play it again? Did it close? Oh, no. and Zora's domain. So it's not like Kokiri Forest is a secret, right? But it is like the central source of life. From what the Deku Tree was saying, you know, maybe it's where life began in the Hyrule world, or at least in this version of Hyrule. I guess life has been going on for a long time since we have this whole reincarnative cycle. Like, technically, I think it's the same world every time. It has to be. Or at least the same universe. I don't know if... with Zelda, it's always wishy-washy on if that's true. You know, let's see what this fella has to say. We are the Zoras, the proud aquatic. All right, well, let's write that down. Zoras, proud aquatic people. You know, the Gorons were also quite proud. Well, maybe not as proud as the Zoras. They seem to be more primal and kind of like Darunia seemed proud. But the rest of them seemed more concerned about their rocks more than anything. Rocks and just chilling and having sticks, and, you know, they weren't as proud as the Zora people. Something I need to get more into, too, is I was reading Shinto, and there's a particular mythic character in Shinto who I believe carries a sword, a mirror, oh gosh, and it's one other thing, but I was like, that's Link. I was like, that's Link. By the end of the game, you've got the sword, you've got the mirror, and there's one other object. I forget what it is, but the parallel was like perfect, you know? I think that might even be the root of the myth that we're talking about, so I'm going to do some research on that today. But there's something about the mirror shield that I don't think has been talked about in any videos that I've seen. Zora's fountain is the source of the river. Lord Jabu Jabu lives on the fountain. Oh, the fountainhead. Okay. Lord Jabu Jabu is the patron deity of the Zoras. So there we have a kami from Shinto, like we've been talking about in the previous episode. Princess Ruto is in charge of preparing his meals morning and night. So she is the priest that services the shrine of the gods, because you generally have a priestly figure that cares for the shrine and cares for the god, and I suppose we should go ahead and get our fish. Okay, yep, okay. Let's get this fish, because we're going to need that. Hi. Oh, and we got to go back to the castle. Oh, we have so many things to do. We got to get out of Zora's domain right now. I actually have some stuff I got to take care of. Why am I here? Well, maybe... Oh, geez. What's the proper move here? Maybe we could go get Pharaoh's Wind. Yeah. I think I'm going to do that first. I think that's the right move. And let's pull out a Deku stick here. Usually I head back to Hyrule Castle like the fairy recommends, but I haven't done that. And we have the water symbol, which seems to be maybe some ripples, perhaps? It's hard to tell what that is, you know? He's kind of in front of it, that big fat dork. And his little scooty butt. Okay, well, first of all, let's light these torches. Woo! Okay, so I think that one stays lit, so we're gonna grab another one just so it doesn't burn out. You gotta be very specific with this. Oh gosh, I feel like I missed a torch. You can't roll here. Oh, got it. This has to be just a heart piece, right? It might be ripples on that symbol. I don't know if it is ripples. That's just my first. It's kind of flowy looking, but like a bunch of ripples maybe colliding with each other. You know how like maybe if you dropped 3 pebbles and they synchronized like on that point. It might look like that. I could be wrong about that though. I could be wrong about that. All right, let's see. What does the sign say? To hear the king's royal proclamation, stand on the platform and speak to him. Well, first we're going to have to go get the diving token, but let's see what he has to say at least. We want to get all the dialogue options that we can so we can get as much information as possible. Oh, my dear sweet Princess Ruto. Where has she gone? I'm so worried. Not worried enough to get up and look for her, but, you know, a little bit worried. Huh. And it might be something to be said, too, that these leaders aren't doing much. If you notice the King of Hyrule, he's not really concerned about Ganondorf. The Darunia didn't really have much, you know, oomph to him. Like, he was like, oh, well, you go fix the problem. I'm not going to fix it. I need someone else to do it, right? And, yeah, and now, you know, the King of the Zoras is kind of just like, well, I don't know where my daughter is, and I can't really look. I mean, he may not even be capable of getting off that throne with his tiny legs, which is pretty symbolic of him, you know, not having much movement to him. Woo! Okay, and this water source probably, it does tie to like Lake Hyla too. So it's almost every source of water, I think, comes back to Zora's domain somehow. Really nice how they tied that all together. Yeah, inept leadership. Except the Great Deku Tree, well, he was more the kami. He wasn't really the leadership. He was the temple to be purified. I guess the leadership of the Kakariko people was Mito, you know, who was he's kind of more worried about his reputation. So we do have, yeah, inept leadership is a good word. I think I'm going to write that down, actually, inept leadership, just because it's short and to the point. Inept leadership. Maybe symbolizing, you know, that the new generation is to take the reins, right? Because something about Japanese history is, you know, it's a lot different than the history maybe we are used to in the West. There's this tendency for isolation. They had a 200-year period of basically isolation, trying to reclaim their main religion, trying to reclaim classic Shintoism, even though the world really needed them to move forward, especially after World War II. And it was the task of the new generation to bring Japan into the like miracle of a society that it is today. Not that Japan's a perfect society, you know, because it still has its problems, but it's like one of the top 3 economies in the world. And that's largely due to the innovation of the new generation that embraced the new ideas, you know. So yeah, this could be really, you know, if we end up doing the lore video, it might end up being that this is all symbolism for the growth of Japan itself, or at least inspired by it, because I'm sure Shigeru Miyamoto and the developers lived through a lot of that. They're quite old at this point. Yeah, you're right. All the water, Ketzer, who I think might be the only one in the chat right now, but Ketzer points out here that all that water is flowing under the king's butt cheeks. So basically, we're all getting butt water. Well, you know what? I bet he has the cleanest butthole in all of Hyrule. I guarantee you. Oh, look, and here we are. We could go a-fishing. We could go a-fishing. There's so many things we can do here. And we got the scarecrows over here. I got so much to do. You know what? This is a fun game. There is a lot of fun stuff to do. I'm Banuru. Banuru. I'm going to write that down, too. I wonder what that means. Banuru. Scarecrow. Okay. The Scarecrow musical genius. I hear a song once and I never forget it, baby. All right, let's do it. Let's play a song. Whoa, you have an ocarina? Hey, why don't you lay a tune on me with it, baby? Come on, baby. There, look, it's a big ol' M. I'm never going to remember that. Well, not bad, but I'll remember it for you anyway. I don't mean I can remember only 8 notes, but let's just cut it right there for now, baby. Baby. Come on, baby. My name is Pierre. I'm the wandering scarecrow. Actually, I wish I could wander for a soul, to look for soul-moving sounds, but I've kind of stuck here. Oh, wow, a scarecrow. Okay, I gotta write that down too. Pierre, the wandering, question mark, scarecrow. Yeah. Let's see, maybe he wants to hear a song too. Oh, well. I almost played the Prelude of Light. If you come up with a nice song, let me come back and hear it. That's interesting. I forget what to do with those scarecrows. I forget it every single time. Oh gosh, and we should go visit the guy in the lab over here, see what he has to say. I'm sure it's interesting. Oh, and there's what's his butt over there. Oh, we should go talk to him. And let's take a look at his little lab. He's got an Octorok and a tank here. Classic scientist. Oh, what's this? There's a Triforce symbol. Spiders, Octoroks, some sort of map, maybe? And he's a fisherman. He is working the seas. I don't think I can reach all the way down there without the golden one, the golden scale. Hello there, son. I'm researching the process of making medicine by mixing Lake Hyla's water with various unusual compounds. So he's a medicine man. Oh, and he's friends with the crooked old lady from the potion shop that I haven't been to yet. Okay, so he's connected to that old crone. They're the medicine makers, which I believe the witch has been the medicine maker in Zelda since A Link to the Past, at least. If not longer than that. And we could go fishing, but maybe we'll just have a fishing episode at some point, because that's going to take a while. Are you serious, Ketzer? I don't think I've ever done that with those scarecrows. I never really knew what they were for. You can teach one a song, and then the song can be used to summon the other to secret spots, which is why he's the wandering scarecrow. That's incredible. What are you doing? You've come a long way to get up here. You should touch that button to look at the map subscreen sometimes. Stink. This is a beautiful lake. Full of pure and clear water. At the bottom of the lake there is a water temple used to worship the water spirits. The Zoras are the guardian of that temple. Oh, and he'll take me back to the castle. Well, that's where I'm going. Yeah, this is great. Fabulous. Maybe he'll drop me off somewhere else secret or something. Perfect. No. Oh, man. Well, that guy's going to die. Oh, man. Well, that's okay. We can maybe go hit these trees over here, see if I missed any Skulltulas. I don't think there's any in these trees, and this might be one of those rocks you have to blow up with a megaton hammer. Nope. Nope, there's a hole. Well, I have full rupees. I don't think I need to get that chest. And let's not forget to get the mask. There's so much stuff to do at this point in the game. There is a bit of freedom, you know. I like how it doesn't just directly be like go from one temple to another, because a lot of games end up feeling that way, and it's not as much fun. Okay. Wait. Man, and you know, they have to close the gates at night because the dead rise, and they do look like dead Koopas. So these aren't dead people, they're dead Koopas. Maybe just a little nod over to Mario, because they're not regular. They're certainly not dead Highlands or anything else in the world. The shape of their faces very much implies a Koopa. Oh, I could go get a shield. I don't have a shield. That's gonna waste some money, and I need to buy beans. And I can always get a shield when I'm an adult. Yeah, and I do enjoy that. I do enjoy that. So the masks, I don't know if that has something to do with happiness. He's the happy mask salesman. It just might be his sales pitch. Now, the Keaton, I believe, is a sort of kami himself, you know, like a guardian spirit. Sometimes you'll see it as as dogs, as like those Chinese dogs, because the Chinese Buddhism had a very big influence on Japan. Yes, I know how to sell masks. But sometimes it's the fox spirit, you know, which I believe it's the same nature as the fox spirit you get out of like Naruto and his great nine-tailed fox. You know, you have the Keaton. I don't know if it's called the Keaton. I'll have to do more research on that myth in particular and that mythic figure. But it's a guardian spirit. And maybe a slight nod to Pikachu, if I'm correct. I could be wrong on that. Oh, and I forgot. No, well, I'm going to be going back after I give him the mask anyway. We may not even get to Zora's domain this time. You know, we got a bunch of side stuff to do. I only hit him twice. He's a sensitive little chicken. Oh, no. If this kills me, I'm going to laugh. Ah! Arise, chicken. If only the people of Hyrule could come together like these chickens did. Oh my gosh. No. I died. The chickens got me. No. Oh no. Where am I going to spawn? Okay, we're good. We're good. We're just in Kakariko Village. They got me. My first death, I think, in this game, and it was the chickens. Do you think you're in some kind of disguise, Mr. Hero? Oh, is that the character mask? I heard he's very popular recently. It must be an ode to Pikachu. Pikachu became super popular, so I think it's kind of a double, you know, a double message there. Keaton, the fox spirit, and then also Pikachu, who was likely based off that fox spirit. Maybe. I could be making that up. All right, here we go. Woo! I like to travel by chicken. That's how I get to work. Just grab me a chicken and jump off the highest point in the city. If chickens really worked that way, though, right? They seriously would have developed some kind of transportation system involving chickens. Which might be what Skyward Sword ended up being. No, I don't. I think those are shoe-billed birds of some sort. Which is the same bird from, I was reading the Hyrule Historia the other day to do some research, you know, and yeah, that red bird symbol that you get on the shield that's below the Triforce of the Highland Shield, that's the birds from Skyward Sword. Of course, they probably didn't know that when they made this, but that's how it ended up being. Yeah, definitely for his son. You're right. He never takes the mask off. Oh, man. He never takes the mask off, right? He still has it when he's an adult, too. Or when Link turns into an adult 7 years later. Looks like somebody else got into Pokemon, maybe. Something I'm going to have to do, too, is because people have different dialogue when you wear the mask. And that might hint at a bunch of lore features. So I'm going to probably have to go through all the characters with this mask and wear it and see what they have to say, you know. A mask. Grow the fuck up. All right, lady. Whoa, weird mask. A lot of them are probably just general mask references. Yeah, they don't care. That guy doesn't care. Whoa, weird mask. I guess not. I thought there was maybe unique dialogue for the masks, but yeah. Looks like they just are like, oh, you have a mask, stupid kid. All right, and this one, this one, I forget where this one goes. If I give it to the kid in Kakariko Village, or if I give it to somebody in the forest. There is a hidden cave. This is from Ketzer. There is a hidden cave in the Lost Woods full of Deku scrubs. They have different reactions to you for each of the masks. Oh, I didn't know that either. Turns out there's a lot I don't know about this game, you know. I'm sure when someone's working on a lore video like this, they probably don't play through every single modicum of the game, you know. It's all on the wiki somewhere, and I could probably just save a lot of time instead of doing the stream and going on the wiki, but I don't know. I like doing my own research. It makes me feel like some sort of archaeologist or something like that. And I think, especially with the community involvement too, I think we're more likely to come up with unique ideas, unique presentations, and things that haven't been seen before. Because it's easy to get stuck into a bubble, you know, where especially on YouTube, where we all just repeat the same things to each other and end up making a bunch of videos that are just worded differently. That's not very different from Mr. Dompe. Okay, so this isn't Dompe's mask. Where does this mask go? In the forest, maybe. I think it does go into the forest. Yeah, I think that too, you know, it's one of the fun things. It's probably why I get so much content out of games like this and Kingdom Hearts. We got the real Father Time in the chat now. What an honor. The real Father Time. I'm sick of all the fake Father Times walking around impersonating you. But they're purposely a little bit vague. They leave a lot to the imagination, which gives you a lot to work with. You know, a lot of room for interpretation and things like that. So, and we're going to head back to Kakariko Forest because I think that's where this mask goes, and we can play Saria's song for a Skull Kid, which will make him happy as well. Oh, lack of sleep is definitely catching up with me. I can't wait till I sleep good again. I'm just so ready for it. This has been such a weird month for me. January in general. And with all the political upheaval that's been going on, like, this was a hell of a time for me to quit some addictions and try and focus on my mental health, because I don't know if it's working out. The world's a scary place right now. You know, I'm feeling like we're in adult Link's world and maybe not child Link's world anymore. But maybe that's just how the world seems once you reach a certain age in general. Could be that. Definitely could be that. You know, I'm sure back in the times of the Cuban Missile Crisis, everyone thought it was the end of the world, you know, and how were we ever going to move on from that? But somehow society trucks on. All right, let's find this Skull Kid. I think he's over. No, maybe it's over this way. Yeah, here he is. No, don't run away. Don't run away. Let's get him. Oh, I think I got to play him the song. Oh, I keep wanting to play the Prelude to Light or the Sun Song or something, but not Saria's song. Okay. That's not quite the song that Saria plays. Implying that Saria is maybe friends with, you know, the Skull Kids of the Forest, too. I mean, maybe all the Kakariko or the Kokiri children are. I like to call it Mario's special fire flower. Hey, that's a full heart piece. All right. Hey, under that mask, aren't you that Kokiri kid? It's coming up to check me out. I always wondered if this was the same Skull Kid from Majora's Mask as well. Yowza, I'm gonna wear this all the time. He just gave you 10 rupees for a 20 rupee mask. You lost money on that deal. Yeah, I mean, I gotta tell you, I've been having some weird dreams. I said it a moment ago, but I have a tonsil stone right now, which if you don't know what those are, because not everyone gets them, but I get one every now and then, and it's a buildup of bacteria and calcium, and it produces like the taste of like something rotting, or it's terrible. It's absolutely awful. Well, I had a dream last night that someone was forcing me to just eat a dead body, like an old decrepit one too. I just woke up like completely disgusted. It was gross, and it was just because of this taste in my mouth. It was absolutely awful. Yeah, because that Skull Kid seems to have something with masks, you know? I mean, he likes the mask. He does seem like the most likely candidate to be that Skull Kid from Majora's Mask. But yeah, I'm supposed to quit Mario's Special Fire Flower for 2 months, and I think I'm about 10 days in, so I'm over the worst of it, you know? I mean, I quit nicotine, and somehow it doesn't feel much better to quit this. Like, I think it's just me, you know? I have a very addictive personality type. I mean, it's part of the reason I got so heavy into video games when I was a kid, because bright lights and action and movement and all that, my brain just goes nuts, you know? But yeah, I quit a lot of things this year. Nicotine, chocolate. I got addicted to chocolate and quit chocolate all within like a 2-month period, because I found out it was a stimulant, and I'm not supposed to have stimulants either. So that's a whole thing. But I'm just raw dogging it right now. You know, the whole life thing. But in a way, it feels good. I feel very victorious. You know, I'm like, ha, you know, I could quit anything. I'm a quitter. I've become a very good quitter. Maybe I'll quit doing YouTube. No, I don't think I can quit doing that. That's like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know what it is. I don't know why I even keep doing it. I haven't seen much success. I just like it, I guess. It's just, and I'm used to it, you know? I'm like, what am I going to do today? Oh, I guess I'll record something. Or I'll play Fortnite with Cam, who, if you haven't seen any of our Fortnite stuff, it's pretty funny. Cam's a funny guy, and playing with him's a really funny experience. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point, Ketzer, about the smell. Thank you. Yeah, it was a long time coming. I struggled a lot with nicotine. I struggled a lot with... Did I actually get the mask? You know, it was 10 years, and it was very, very difficult for me to finally give it up. And I felt like if I gave it up, the biggest thing was that I was going to get fired from my job, because I wouldn't be able to be, you know, as calm as I normally am. Or I wouldn't enjoy life as much or something like that. You know, I'd gotten so used to the addiction and the comfort of it all. But once I quit nicotine, you know, it was no thing, you know? Yeah. Maybe he just recognizes the smell of that butt water from Zora's domain. You know, he's like, ah, you've been in Zora's domain. I can smell the king's ass on you. I've been swimming around in that shit all day. Hey, I think we're on track to get the Mask of Truth here. Which is good, because we want to talk to all those stones, you know? We want to get the messages. Oh, it's just a mask. I get a different kind of fright from that mask than I get from Dante. Because it looks like a re-dead, I believe. Nice. And we should do Dompe's little thing here too, just to be, you know. And we have money right now, so we can pay him to dig up holes. If anyone knows what hole the heart piece is in, just let me know now so we don't waste a bunch of time. All right, Dompe. Where are you at, Dompe? Is it not late enough? I don't see him out here. I thought he came out at night, but it may not be late enough at night. Maybe it's more like a midnight ordeal. Let's check his house. Go away. Huh. How odd. Perhaps it needs to be a little bit later, or maybe he comes earlier in the day. I don't really know with Dompe. Yeah, I think I need the boomerang to get that Skulltula. I'm familiar with that one. He's a boomerang Skulltula, or a hookshot Skulltula. I'll figure out Dante later. We can tackle that guy on the next episode probably. And I believe there's a good deal of Skulltulas at Lon Lon Ranch at night too, but we'll get to them once we have the boomerang. You know, once we have the boomerang, we can kind of make a sweep of the whole land again, do a talk to all the stone statues with the Mask of Truth, and get a lot of the lore. So after we do Zora's Domain, probably after the stream, after the next stream, we'll be able to get a lot of secrets and find out a lot more of the actual lore that you don't get to see right up front. I don't know why I'm doing this. I have a full rupee. It's just Link, just drop. Woo! And there's the Temple of Time. We haven't been there yet, but it does kind of just loom over the city right there with Death Mountain. Oh, and we gotta find the mailman. I forgot about him. He's the tough one. He's the tough one. I think he starts resting, though, at night, so we'll find out where he is, and then we'll catch him at nighttime. I know he basically just runs around Lon Lon Ranch. So he's got to be somewhere over here. But yeah, a lot of my studies since the last episode have been more on the history of Japan and how Shinto became involved in that, because, I mean, I'm starting to realize this the more history I study, that a lot of stories are just, even if they don't know it, they're reflections of the history that passed by the people that wrote the story. You know, it's what impacted them to the core of their soul. And Japan has such a violent history in the, past 150 years or so, even before that with the Meiji Restoration and everything like that. Oh, look, and there's the owl. Well, I wonder what he's doing over there. Oh, he's over by Gerudo Valley. He's just waiting to tell me some stuff, probably. I wonder if I'm going about this the right way. You want to kind of run in the opposite direction of the mailman. If indeed he's out here at all, he may not come out till after I do Zora's Domain. Maybe not. Maybe, you know what? We'll save that till when we do Zora's Domain. And until then, we'll have bunny ears. Yeah, because I don't see him. I don't see him. I don't see him, and I know he usually rests at night somewhere like up over yonder over here, but I could just be missing him. Yeah, you're probably right, Ketzer. So, in that case, what do we want to do now? We haven't gone to Hyrule Castle to get the Great Fairy there, so we're going to go get the Great Fairy there, and then we'll probably do the next dungeon. So maybe we will get that done this time around. I'm kind of eager to get to Zora's Domain, too. I want to do a dungeon today. Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to play my ocarina. Wait. I really do feel like there's some untapped stuff here, though, because I've watched a lot of the big Zelda lore videos. I'll do that a lot of the time because I don't want to regurgitate things. So I'll be like, well, let's not just regurgitate what's already been said about the game. Let's really try to see if there's something, one, meaningful, and very unique that hasn't been said. And that's usually why I turn to a lot of the Union, Carl Jung's processes, because those tend to be things that are so subtextual that they're really easy to miss, but still have a grounding in reality. Though I think a lot of people would say that Union analysis is, it's pseudoscience. Like, psychoanalysis might be pseudoscience, but I think the essential statements by Carl Jung that he made about how the mind interprets symbols still hold up. His system is remarkably complete and in how it analyzed all the different myths around the world, even more so than the hero's journey, which based all of its stuff off of Carl Jung and Freud by extension. All right, here we go. So if that last fairy was the fairy of power, I wonder what Din's Fire, what fairy this one's going to be. Ugh. Oh, the Great Fairy of Magic? Was that what she said? I kind of skipped past it. I didn't mean to. Yeah, because there's about 5 different fairies, I think. Ketzer, that's kind of where I started too. I became growing up very, and this is something Carl Jung states too, that if you grew up in a Christian or Western religion society, you sort of become desensitized to it, and Eastern philosophies will become very attractive because it allows you to sort of interpret things through a fresh lens. And this tends to happen with people who grow up in Eastern religions as well. If they, end up leaving their religion or trying to find new meaning, they'll look over to the Western religions as a large source of meaning. It's about getting new perspectives on things, which is very helpful into just interpreting philosophy in general. So that's what happened to me. I was very Christian. And once I got out of that, I became very attracted to Hinduism, Taoism, Zen. And then, after studying that for a tremendous amount of time, I finally came back to the Western religions and were able to interpret those properly. And then after interpreting both of those, you can end up at a person like Carl Jung, because he's like, wait, look, here's what all these religions actually mean. And it's still very mystical. Even though it's psychoanalysis, Carl Jung was still a mystic. And we can't forget that he even, I think, had a personal spirit, or for him, it wouldn't have been a spirit. He would have been very aware that it was a psychological manifestation. But he engaged with it, and that made for a very interesting book called The Red Book. I've yet to read The Red Book. It's one of my big books that I want to read, that I have to read before I die, where he talks about his inner psychic experiences and what happened to him. And that's probably got a tremendous amount of meaning to it. Beaning. I almost said beaning to it. I don't know what I'm doing here. We're going to Zora's Domain. Oh, wait. Did I get the spider? Okay, I did. Yeah. And I ended up studying philosophy because I was working at a call center, and I had time to read some books while I was there. And I thought, well, why don't I start reading psychology? Well, a friend of mine was like, well, why don't you start reading philosophy instead? And he wasn't even really into philosophy. He was like, well, let's just read this one philosophy book. And that was Will Durant's The Story of Philosophy. And if you want to get into philosophy, if anyone's a novice and wants to get into philosophy, that's a great text to read, because he just covers most of the main influences of philosophy, and does so in a very poetic and easy to digest way that gets you very excited to read characters like that. And he'll talk about Socrates, and then talk about why Socrates was wrong, and then he'll talk about the next philosopher. He'll talk about Aristotle, and he'll convince you that Aristotle had some great ideas, and then you'll realize, oh wait, no, Aristotle didn't have the great ideas. It was the next guy, and then the next guy, and then the next guy. And that's sort of been the story of philosophy, is whoever came next and was able to refute the last guy and come up with something more dramatic and more meaningful. And it turns out philosophies are so important, they end up getting represented in art a lot of the time, which is why we're seeing it in video games, in my opinion. All right, I'm going to buy more beans. Jeez, this guy is really upping the prices on these beans. I don't even have enough money. It's okay. We're going back to Zora's Domain. Oh, the chicken. I need the chicken. Duh. Let's see. Maybe I can get enough money real quick to get the beans here. I don't think so. I still need 10. I still need 10 rupees, and I doubt I'm going to get them here. Oh, hey, here's something cool. I mean, not that. That's not cool. Hey, check this out, guys. A bean. Okay, I haven't done that yet in this playthrough, but we got to be very careful, and you just stand right here. You let these little butterflies land right on your stick. Come on, flutterbys. Land on the stick. Land on the stick. Land on the stick. He's trying. He's trying so hard. He's not. Land on my stick. Come on. No, he keeps moving the stick. The butterfly's trying. I can tell. He's like floating all around the stick. Land on the stick. Land on the stick. Ah! It's not working. You're supposed to be able to let the butterflies land on your stick. All right, let's stop dicking around, and we're gonna go do this dungeon finally. I don't know if I've ever gotten the butterflies to land on the stick either. I don't know if there's like a small chance that it happens or something, but it never works out for me. But we know it can be done. I've seen other people do it, so it's something that can be done. This will go a lot faster once I have my teleportation songs. I'm kind of having to run back and forth. I don't have a horse, you know. Everything's inaccessible when you're a child. You have to run everywhere. You have to have people drive you places. No one lets you have a horse when you're a child. I just did the wrong song. Okay, let's try that again. And just to point this out again, and I have to write this down too, the first 3 bosses are carcasses, are straight up carcasses. I mean, Jabu Jabu's still alive, and I guess the Deku Tree was still technically alive, you know, when we did the dungeon itself, right? But Jabu Jabu's gone when you're an adult, and I can only assume that he's been removed, right? You know? All right, let's show this letter because we got the letter now. Our guardian god, Lord Jabu Jabu, would never eat my dear Princess Ruto. Green around the gills, so he's sick. He's just sick. Oh, God, here we go. Here we go. This is going to be the rest of the recording, guys. Take your time, Jabu Jabu. I'm not in a hurry or anything. This guy ain't good for much. Maybe he's really agile when he's in the water. Like, you put Jabu Jabu in the water, maybe that guy can swim, right? Or not Jabu Jabu, King Zora, or whatever. I don't know what his name is. Oh, God. Gross. And there's the patron god of the Zoras right there, Lord Jabu Jabu, which we're going to ignore right now and go get this spell from the Great Fairy. Yeah, these butterflies are everywhere. It's got to be possible, you know, to get them on the stick. I know it is. I've seen other people do it, and I believe them. I believe that they did that. They truly did that. All right, let's blow this hole open. All right, here we go. I just played this song. And I think these spells are useful lore-wise, too, because they give us a hint into the elements, you know. You have... Oh, gosh, it's, you know, it's almost just like Kingdom Hearts, right? Or aren't the characters in Kingdom Hearts, their names are basically sky, water, and land? And then you have Din, which is, it's fire, but it's associated with the land. We found that out from the myth. You have Pharaoh, or Farore. I don't know how to say his name. I always call him Pharaoh, but he's not Pharaoh. He's a Farore. Farore? I don't know. I don't know how it's said. But obviously associated with the wind, you know, life in the sky, and then Nehru, who's associated with wisdom and water, logic. You know, that again, that goes with water usually. Blue, logic, mind. There's a great video on Elden Ring about color theory, actually, that really opens up some of the ideas in the game. It's like one of my favorite lore videos because it's so well produced and very well thought out, and likely required a good deal of research. All right, let's do this. You know, this game has a real funny symbolism with me, too, in that when I was a kid, I think I was 8 when I got this game, because, you know, I'm a 90s kid, and I was 8 when I got this. And my dad could beat the game all the way up to the Forest Temple, right? But he couldn't beat the Forest Temple. And I was struggling just to get past the Deku Tree. But he had gotten all the way to the Forest Temple, you know? And I think it wasn't until I was like 10 that I finally beat this game and got to the Forest Temple and then surpassed my own father, you know, giving me the status as the new adult in the house, you know? I started going to work, you know, he started staying home because I was like, I beat the Forest Temple. You know, no point in you doing anything anymore. I'm now the man of the house. I'm just kidding, but I did beat the Forest Temple, which made me feel like I had surpassed my father in some way. Oh, I don't have a shield. I'm like trying to block. Hey, both of you. I'm not going to have that right now. And we can only kill those guys with boomerangs, if I recall. Ooh, yeah. We are going to have to give you some antibiotics, sir. Look at that disgusting infection over there. Who are you? I'm not your girlfriend or anything. Shut up. No, that's Ruto. What are you saying? My father asked you to come here and save me? I'd never ask anyone to do such a thing. Letter in a bottle. I have no idea what you're talking about. Whatever. I think this is actually Link's first princess that he saves in this game. Saves a few princesses. Okay? Are you still hanging around here? I told you to go away. All right, well, he's very strange today, and there's jellyfish, and, you know, you're kind of cute, so, okay, I'll let you carry me. But anyway, she's very rejecting of his help, so she's very proud. You know, they were called the proud Zora people. That's what the first guy said, and she's living up to that. Maybe doesn't deserve the pride so much, but, you know. Because eventually it's going to be her butt water that we're all sniffing. So, you know, she's got to have some pride, I guess. Oh, okay, this is a tricky thing here. Oh, I remember what to do. Yeah, you throw her on the other side. Huh. And then you hit the button here. And maybe take care of these guys first. Oh, hell yeah. And look, this water's not even the right color. Like, it does feel like he's very sick. I get that, especially from this newer graphical version of it. You know, it does seem like he's very sick. Oh, let's get the fairy. Come on, fairy to bottle. No, that didn't work. Come on. I'm trying to get him. This would have been easier from, like, the ground. I'm so stupid. Okay, we got it. Oof, oof. Come on. Ooh, and there's... What is under there? I've forgotten. But I'm afraid I'll lose the princess if I go down there. I don't want to lose the princess. Whatever. We're just going to skip that downward area for now. I don't think there's anything super important down there lore-wise, or a heart piece or anything like that. Oh. And I think we're going down this way, going down to Georgia. Maybe. You just... Well, there's nothing I can do about that, so let's get out of here for that one. I think it's the other direction. This dungeon is a step above the others, The first two are kind of simple, but this one, it really gets you prepared to be an adult for the difficulties that are coming ahead and the small keys that you're going to have to find later, which just drives me insane. I know small keys are a huge part of Zelda, but it just... Small keys. I never have the ones I need, especially in the water temple. Kill them, Ruto! Oh, wait, can't I just bomb these fools? Hey! Oh, man. Oh, I did not get enough sleep last night. Boomerang! Another toy. Kind of. It's got a little gem on it, too. Kind of reminds me of the Firestone. All right, let's take out the boomerang. Best item to have when you're a kid. Uses no ammo, comes back to you, and brings things back to you. Buy slingshot. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Those definitely look like parasites, though, like part of the parasitic infection. I don't know, maybe the jellyfish are, too. I don't know what animals are usually living inside of Jabu Jabu, or what's normal to have inside of a whale's belly. Probably not any animals, if I had to guess, but I'm sure whales get parasites, too. Have you ever seen a whale heart? I saw one on the internet the other day. You can just fit a person inside of it. Like, gosh, that's crazy. It's a pumping system. I can't believe animals even get as big as blue whales. It always fascinated me when I was a child that something could be so large. It's pretty mystical in its own way, because we're so, we're like ants compared to these things. Like, it'd be a good thing to wonder, because we only see creatures on Earth. And we only know how big they get on Earth, but, I'm of the opinion that life just permeates the universe. It's probably everywhere. If I had to guess, right? It's probably all over the universe. So it'd be interesting to see how big a creature can get. How big can a life form get before it's just too much? Like, for example, the size of a planet? I mean, some would argue that the Earth is a living organism, right? But it's kind of hard to see that, I guess, but it's probably hard for a cell to realize that it's part of a body, not that a cell even realizes anything, right? But how big could you get? How big could a life form be? Really? You know, like a functioning one with organs and the whole deal, not some kind of abstract version of what life is, but something that's like very clearly, you know, a mammalian kind of form. Because whales get pretty big, but I know it gets bigger than that. It's got to get bigger than that. All right, was that all the doorways? Hey. Ah! No. Okay, I'm missing something. Which one haven't I been in yet? I think it's this way. Yeah, here we go. Oh, let's see what Navi has to say about this, actually. Oh, yeah, parasitic tentacle. So it is a parasite. This is not supposed to be here. And I would have to guess, because you remember when we were in the Sheik house, when we were in the Sheikah house, it showed a boomerang attacking one of those parasites. So has this happened before? Is this a sort of purification ritual that, you know, maybe the Sheikah look after? Maybe they could be the actual Shinto priests that look after the temples themselves, even though it states that the Zoras are the ones that do that, right? Who's to say that a Zora couldn't be in the family of the Sheikah? Who's to say that a Goron couldn't be in the network of spies? I mean, are we going to be racist about being, you know, Hyrulean ninjas? I don't think so. Though they do tend to represent different tribes, and the Sheikah are of the royal family, which is Hylian. Hylic is a word too. It's not just Zelda. Like, there's a definition for Hylic people, and I forget exactly what it is. Where? Yeah. Okay, and that should have cleared up over here. This green goober. Come on over, buddy. I know you're going to attack me anyway. Well, he's kind of far away. I don't think he's going to bother me. Cool your pants, man. There it is. That's what I've been looking for. Throw me up there, slave. But why Princess Ruto? And it's her mother's stone, her dead mother's stone. I'm just going to write that down. It seems like it might be significant. Let's see. Stone of water is Ruto's mother's engagement stone. This boss is kind of irritating to me, but he's cute. He's cute, so I'll forgive it. Turn around, buddy. Oh. He's weird. He's a weird fight. There we go. You got to hit him with the old 1-2. Ah! I just like letting him hit me because then he just turns right around and I can hit his butt. And it's just the fastest way to deal with this dork. Oh, he's dead. Yeah, just 2 hits if you use because the jump slash does double damage. Ooh, that's a good point. A shocking lack of mothers throughout this whole game, says Ketzer. Yeah, lack of mothers. Good point. That's probably going to be really important, so thanks for pointing that out. Because there does seem to be that, a lack of a female presence besides, Zelda, besides princesses, really. I guess there's the leader of the Gerudos, Naburu, who's kind of a motherly figure, though not necessarily. Like, we never see Ganondorf's mother or hear about her. So the lack of, I wonder if Shigeru Miyamoto had a lack of mother-like figures in his life, and that could be the reason, or if it's some sort of, regional thing. I don't know. Really, I'm having to study a lot of Japanese history to get to the point of a lot of these things. Because I think and just in general, it's going to be good because so many of the games we play come from Japan. So understanding Japanese mentalities and Japanese history is going to be very important. For example, I remember when I was I took Japanese in high school, and I remember even my teacher being like, yeah, a lot of times, the father is at work so much that he's actually the absent one, and the mother is the one who's present basically all the time in their child's life. Traditionally, we're a new society, and that was decades ago, so I'm sure Japan is going through its own progressive movements, just like we are here in the West, where things aren't necessarily done in the traditional way. I think that's the point of a lot of Japanese media is showing that tradition can be broken, that it's okay to have new ideas. Oh, Twinovra. As Ganondorf's mother figure. That's interesting. Because she represents fire and ice, a duality, right? That's interesting. There might be something there, too. Gives me a lot to think about. A lot to think about. And we're on the boss, folks. Nice. What time is it? Yeah, I don't even have to leave yet. Oh, man, am I tired, though. And we have to remember Ganondorf's responsible for this, too. He put the parasite inside of Jabu Jabu. He blocked up the hole to the Dodongo cave. In general, he's just been obsessed with making the world sick, which is just, it's really just a ego grandization, where he's sucking energy out of the rest of the world to feed the energy of his own self. Oh, come on. Well, I have a fairy. I very much doubt that I'm going to lose this fight. Sometimes you can slip the boomerang between these guys. It's very difficult, but it does happen. What you gonna do now? You got no jellyfish left. Yeah, it is a sleepy day especially for me. Like I said, I haven't been sleeping well. I'm lucky if I do get 8 hours right now. I even called into work yesterday. I still didn't stream because I was so tired, but I just called into work because I drive, and I didn't think it was going to be safe for me to drive with as little sleep as I had gotten. you know? Ew. You're late. What took so long? You useless. Yeah, I was just lonely, that's all. Just a little. We got bags under her eyes, too. Looks like she hasn't got that much sleep. Well, we've won Princess Ruto's heart and are about to get engaged. And which is a mark of adulthood, you know, let's not forget in most of society, maybe not so much nowadays, but the mark of adulthood used to be marriage. You know, the sacred ritual that started the process of regeneration of life, so. You look cool. Cooler than I thought you would anyway, just a little. Well, anyway, you saved me, so I guess I'll reward you. Well, what do you wish? I'm just like, nothing. I don't need anything. My mother gave it to me and said I should only give it to the man who will be my husband. You might call it the Zora's engagement ring. Okay, let's also look at this. There's a few things here. The first step was courage from the Great Deku Tree, brotherhood, the concept of brotherhood from the Gorons, and now marriage, right? All things that you probably need to understand to make the progress into adulthood. So these aren't just quests that Link are completing. He's actually achieving various milestones of life. Her most precious possession, you don't know what she's talking about, but you finally collected all the stones. Don't tell my father. Why? What's he gonna do? Sit on me? Scoot over till I'm dead? Anyway, folks, I'm too tired. My brain is not functioning on the level it normally is. I just tell him immediately. Let's see what he has to say, too. Oh, yeah, we're just talking to him. Oh, Stink, you saved the princess, huh? I really appreciate it. Yeah, well, your appreciation means everything. Also, I'm going to marry her, maybe, maybe not. All right, so we have all the spiritual stones now. And gosh, what else should we do? You know, there's one more thing I want to do. There's one more thing I want to do. Let's see, how many rupees do I have? I still don't think I have enough rupees to buy more beans yet, even though I did that whole dungeon. Oh, let's see, there's got to be a... Yeah, I know I can get that one. I know I can get it. Maybe if I stand over here. Let's go see if we can find the mailman. Well, we might have to do Zelda's little Song of Time thing, and I want to be a little bit more lucid for that, folks, so we might call off the stream at this point just to preserve my state of mind and, you know, make sure that we don't miss anything. I don't want to miss something because I'm too tired, so I'll see you guys next time on Gametrip, and yeah, we'll go pull the sword out of the stone, which is always a whole lot of fun, and likely, like, one of the most meaningful, if not the most meaningful thing in this game. You know, the symbol of not only adulthood, but of the hero's journey and, you know, becoming the blade itself, the thing which sets the world free. All very meaningful stuff. Yeah, thanks for joining, everybody. Ketzer and the Real Father Time. It was nice to have you in the chat. I'll see y'all on the next episode, or the next live stream, which we'll be doing tomorrow at the same time, if all goes well.